marching band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the Speed Metal Kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And now, let's turn down the house and light up the stage with the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Wednesday night is back again, and that means it's time for another edition of Auburn Family Night. This is the show where you, the Auburn family, take center stage. We're going to take the topics that you wanted to discuss, your comments, questions, and calls. All that's coming up right now. Well, War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we hash out the Auburn experience, which to us is all about a few things: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, is if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today, or this evening, I should say, on Auburn Family Night, one of the best nights of the week for us here at E2C Network, because it's all about you guys. What you want to talk about, what you want to discuss, what you want to dive into. Really, this is the show where you become the puppet masters and I am the puppet. And you can pretty much dictate, well, most things. You can dictate what you want me to do, say, all those kind of things. Obviously, you can tell I really enjoy meeting with you guys on this stage every single Wednesday night. And so we're going to have a really fun time getting into a lot of different things this evening. Lots to talk about, as you might imagine. Before we get into that, we want to acknowledge our sponsors for Auburn Family Night during football season, and that is barnersupply.com. You can see their links in the description here on YouTube. If you're watching on one of the other platforms, you'll see it in the post. Try to visit them if you can and check out some of their great products that they offer. I'm wearing one of those right now. You'll see their other logo down there in the bottom right corner. We'll be talking about a few other things throughout the stream. Auburn Family Night is made possible by barnersupply.com. Thank you to them for barning hard with us here on Auburn Family Night. Okay, so the drill is, for those of you who've never been here before, you pick where we go. You decide what topics we're going to discuss. We'd love for you to start the show by announcing your presence into the chat, letting us know that you're here. There's lots of fine people already assembling, lots of our regulars here, and you can help all those new people find us by smashing the like button, by hitting the share button if you're watching somewhere else. We want people to continue to file into here and enjoy spending some time in this space here. And don't be shy throughout the show. If you guys want to send the conversation a certain way, all you got to do is bring up a topic, a question, a comment. One of the easier ways that you can take advantage of this, I guess, I want to say totality, authoritarian, I don't know. What power that you have is by utilizing our call-in link that is available and should be pinned to the top of YouTube. You can find it on Facebook as well. If you're over there, all you got to do is click the link, and that way you can be a part of the show in that way. We'd love to see some smiling faces or just hear some different voices. I know y'all get tired of hearing me every single week, but those are all your options. So the live chat, comments if you're watching the replay, and obviously on the live portion, our live call-in link. So don't be shy. We had some great calls last week. Let's keep that going. If you've never utilized it before, don't be shy. Jump on into the chat. So, wow, since we last got together, quite a few things have happened. We did a thing. Auburn football, obviously, yet again in another time of transition. It's almost like someone foresaw it back in 2020 when we made a decision we didn't need to make and told you it didn't have to be this way. That's one. Everybody start doing like a counter. I don't advocate drinking, but you can play a drinking game every time Kyle says that phrase. You're probably going to be pretty wired, if I guess would be the word, by the time this show gets done of me saying that. Anyway, so obviously a coaching change. There are coaching rumors. That's where most people are discussing right now. DJ Durkin is the new interim head coach and he'll do his best to salvage the rest of the season, which there is still a lot of season left to play. Basketball has had started their first week, men's basketball and women's, won in overtime. First career wins for their new head coaches, first overtime wins for their new head coaches. And obviously the week continues for both of those programs as well, starting off college basketball season. What else? Oh, yeah, by the way, Auburn and Notre Dame, baby. We got it. We did it. We finally did the thing that I have been begging, pleading with Auburn to do for years, and that is sign Auburn and Notre Dame to a home-and-home series, and we are getting that in 2027, 2028. It is going to be a beautiful thing. I already started chanting Rudy throughout the entirety of the afternoon. It's like I literally was sitting downstairs taking a short break from work, and that came across, and I literally just yelled out across the house, and yes, deep from in the heart and the soul. So can you tell I'm a little bit excited about it? But lots to talk about. Whew, I'm excited. All right, Cole, Cool Bell, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I believe, is this Kel? No, just Cool Bell. I can't. Sometimes I get people mixed up together there. But welcome into the show. And I think we have said hello to most everybody. Neil's here. He hasn't told us where he's watching from, even though I know where he's watching from, essentially. But let's keep going. Let's get some questions going here from you guys. Anyone else going to be in Nashville this weekend? So it sounds like Dalton is going to. Dalton, are you heading to the game? If you are heading to Nashville, let us know. I won't be there. I would love to, actually. I've been trying to get to an Auburn Vanderbilt game for a while. It seems like for the next 4 years, I'll have plenty of opportunities to do that. At least 2 more opportunities, I guess, every other year. But yeah, there's apparently a lot to have fun with and do in Nashville. I've been a couple of times throughout my life, but hasn't been recently. So if you got recommendations for Auburn people heading to the Nashville area to enjoy on a game day weekend, shout it out. Let's talk about it. That's what exactly this is, what it was for. Let's see here. This is from Sam. He says, if Durkin goes undefeated, do we hire him? Again, it's a crystal ball question. Don't know, but I think obviously you know that he is being considered if he wants it. He declined to comment if he wants it, and I think that's the professional thing to do when he was asked about it. His focus is about this week, and that's probably really all you need to be focusing on. But really, he controls his own fate and can decide pretty much whether he wants the job or not. Because if he were to win out and put together some semblance of an offense while being a defensive coordinator primarily and playing the role of interim head coach, that's going to say something, and a lot to consider there. Let's see. 1 second, you're excited about hearing the announcement with Notre Dame. Then a second later, you're immediately depressed. Here, I do not know what happened. I have been checked out. So am I a little bit out of pocket here? I need to make sure. This may be a live reaction. I hope this isn't something really bad here. So let me see if I can get into what's going on here. Here is some breaking bad news. If that is correct, I don't see it from, not to switch gears on what was just said, but here's the initial injury report for Auburn Vanderbilt. Champ Anthony out for the year. It looks like he hurt his leg and will miss the remainder of the season. Wow. We'll look at that again in a second. We can go back through the injury report. Maybe I should just look at you guys in the chat and see what happened. Anybody want to share what's going on? Walker Kessler was hurt for the season. Okay. If that's what, okay, as long as it's just something that he can, I know that's important and big, but I had the worst kind of gut reaction there when y'all were talking about it. I'll look it up. Somebody in the chat, just fill in. Is it just simply Walker Kessler had a season-ending injury? If that's the case, that's horrible because that just started. Their season just started. Okay, let me try to regroup after that. Unbeaten Lake threw me for a loop there. Neil says that Auburn and Notre Dame is his dream, as it has been many an Auburn fan for quite some time. This is the matchup that we've all been waiting for. I think it's it's the biggest that's been left on the you haven't played list. I should have had it prepared and had Clint's thing pulled up. He had a great thing for that. Let's see here. Yeah, Stan, I don't agree. I don't think it's a wasted season. There's no such thing as a wasted season when Auburn football suits up. I learned to be very appreciative of it when we nearly didn't have one during COVID in 2020. So I'd rather have bad Auburn football than no Auburn football because it's something that we all enjoy the pageantry of. And if you get to go to the games, you understand what I mean. I'll take it. So it's definitely not a waste. Let's see here. Okay. So it looks like we're all on the same page now. When I say all, I mean me, because that was new information to me. So I hate to hear that about Walker Kessler. Man, there's just bad news dropping in from everywhere about all the different, things here. So let me just, since I brought it up, actually, let me do this part. And then we're going. We want to remind you guys of our friends at barnersupply.com. They bring to you Auburn Family Night every single Wednesday night during football season. We're so proud to partner with them. Tons of apparel, tons of gear that you can get to show your Barning nature. We'll go through some of that even now. And I think I'll just go ahead and I did this last week. Let's see if it'll stick. They got these Velcro patches that you can utilize. Will it stick on this shirt? It will not. That is a big disappointment for me because I didn't wear the right shirt. There we go. I'm bought and paid for on this show. So barnersupply.com. There you go. That's a little cool Velcro patch. So the Velcro patch is great, but my shirt is not. So the fact that it was sticking to it at all is a good thing. There you go. But check them out if you want to have a lot of great gear to show that you take pride in our Auburn ag-based upbringings, I guess I would say, or origins. This is a great company that you want to be involved with for hats, shirts, fun little apparel, merch, all kinds of stuff. Check them out, barnersupply.com. All right. Let's see if I can get myself caught up here in the chat, and then we can go back to what I wanted to talk about here. So let me tackle this. Thelma on Facebook. Oh no! And see, I told you my shirt wasn't going to hold the Velcro as strong as it was, but it is a great patch. I promise. It's nothing to do with the patch. It has everything to do with the shirt. I am seeing this crop up a lot. We need Cadillac Williams as our coach. People wanting Cadillac Williams back. I hope that you will all listen to me on this one, and please, 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 please listen to me on this one. You are looking at someone that is going to fight anyone that tries to take the title of biggest Cadillac Williams fan in the world. I will fight you for that, and I will win. He is my Bo Jackson. That's what he means to me. I will never, ever forget what he did for us in the 2022 end of that year, the end of the Harsin era, pulling together the end of a very horrible season and creating some magic, especially with that Texas A&M game and win. The game itself wasn't great, but just the energy, all of that was awesome. What he did for us cannot be replicated and never should be replicated because that's what makes it so special. However, I hope you all will please listen to me in this. He is not ready to be a head coach of many places, much less a power SEC team, even his alma mater. I think he did a decent job and an outstanding job in a lot of areas, and there is so much work we don't even know that he did behind the scenes. But what I can tell you is that I do believe when the parting of ways happened, it was for the best. And I think right now he's still trying to find his way. I think I saw maybe he wasn't with the Raiders at this point anymore. So please do yourself a favor. Please do Auburn and Cadillac a favor. And let's not push this anymore because it feels like we're not being realistic when we say that, and I don't mean that to be rude in any way, but I hope people recognize that's a feel-good emotional thing, and that's not necessarily reality. And trust me, I dove right into Cadillac, and if they had hired him, if they would hire him this time, I'd be all on board and be the biggest homer in the world. I just don't want you guys to continue believing that that's going to be a good thing right now. And I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I Let's see here. I'm way behind in chat, so let's just keep rolling here. And by the way, utilize the call-in link if you'd like to. We'd love to hear from some of your perspectives. Tailgating for games has been fun this year, but going to them as a student and having to get there 2 hours early makes it feel like a waste of time when they play how they have. Sure, I understand and appreciate those sentiments, Stephen. Certainly that's every person has to make a judgment call. What is worth their time and their investment of money, time, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's never a waste of time to be in Jordan hair and experience all that. And for nothing else, all other aspects other than the play. So I think when you look at it that perspective, and I have the benefit of being older than probably you are, and some at least, not most in the chat or that watch our stuff, but I had the years of quote unquote maturing and figuring out what's most important in life and things like that, and taking value in more than just the win and loss column of it all. But obviously the winning is super, super important. And it's the reason you go out and play. But I understand and empathize with what you're saying, but trust me, it's much bigger than that. Getting way behind here. I think Keyshawn Murphy should start. He looked most competent, more competent. Man, Samson. I'm trying to put that together there by reading it. Was making me look dumb. Competent than Jovic. If you're making any big overarching statements off of one game about the season, about the team, about any player, you're doing yourself and the team a disservice. Please don't do that. I think Keyshawn Murphy right now is still battling back from his injury, which means that he's a little bit limited in minutes. So make sure you're aware of that too. If I'm not mistaken in that, I don't think. And Jovic just got here, by the way. So he is going to look a little bit more raw, and he played in a much different style of basketball over there in Europe. This is from Neil. Kyle, how many times have we been on a live stream talking about having to hire a new head coach? This isn't fun. So Gus, Harson, now Hugh. So this is the third time since we started doing this in some capacity that we are doing that. And it will be the fourth head coach. It didn't have to be this way. That's two. That's two for you. I need like a ding. Let's see if I've actually got a little bit of a thing I can utilize on here. They give us so many tools that we can utilize in this that I just never pay attention to. I need to find that. What's this little thing do? Nope. There's got to be something in here that's like, there you go. It didn't have to be this way. Oh man, it keeps going. Wow, that's fun. All right, doesn't need to be the Kyle playing with his fun little toys things, but yeah. All right, let's dive into here. Keep going through your questions. There's still some stuff that I want to talk about with you guys. Thelma says, I think this is going back to Cadillac. I love him, Bo and Cam. He's the best. Certainly, he is very valuable to the Auburn family. That doesn't necessarily make him the best candidate for Auburn. Let's see here. WT with a little bit of a subject change. Pittsburgh, Illinois, Iowa. Is Iowa on there? Iowa State is. I don't think Iowa is. I could be wrong. Oklahoma State are Power 4 teams that we have not played along with Notre Dame. Maybe you're right about Iowa, but I thought it was just Iowa State. Either way, I'd like to play either of those, even again, if we have played Iowa. Yeah, so after Notre Dame, the question becomes, who's the next in line for who Auburn fans want to see notched off the list in terms of who you haven't played yet, and whether that's regular season matchups or, hey, someday we make the playoff, or something else, a bowl game, whatever. I think of those that are listed right there. I'd also throw like BYU, Utah, Arizona State on top of those as some names of bigger schools to note. Oklahoma State's probably going to be higher on my list. Iowa State's going to be higher. For some reason, I'm intrigued by an Auburn-Pittsburgh matchup. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just thinking back to the Larry Fitzgerald's days for Pittsburgh. But this Notre Dame one being not just done, marked off the list is so good. So good. Love it. Let's see here. Unbeaten Lake says, not really a fan of hiring beloved players to become head coach, because if they don't do well, it would make me feel sick if we had to fire them. It makes you, but here's the thing, Unbeaten Lake, maybe that'll actually put some things into perspective for a lot of these people out there that like to dog people online and stuff like that. Might make you take a little bit of a time to think about those things. Anyway, I agree. I think your sentiment, it works there. There is a danger with that. But here's what I'm going to say about this idea of Auburn, the next Auburn hire. Who is Auburn best in the hands of? I think Auburn, when it makes sense, is best in the hands of those that either A, know it, love, and then B, love it, or two together, whatever, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say. I think that familiarity is valuable and can't be downplayed. Now, what you can't do is just be a homer and say, because we love this dude, he needs to be the head coach. Now, if he's qualified and he builds into the homerness of it all, that's just like icing on the cake at that point, right? So I think there's a lot of former players and stuff that may make great coaches someday. I just don't see a lot of them right now. Neil says, I hate these new head coaching lives, Kyle. It gets old and people fight with each other over it. Don't they always? Who fights with anybody here? Here's what I found. People don't talk the way they do online in person. And I promise you of that. And if you do, that means that you're just not, well, I won't go that far. Anyway, see, I don't have the benefit. My face is right here in front of that. I've got to be measured in what I say for the most part. Sometimes I don't do a good job of that. Keep it rolling there. We got a lot of great comments coming in, so y'all just keep them rolling here. Please do take advantage of the call-in link. We'd love to hear from you this evening if you haven't done so already. So please check that out. It's very easy. All you got to do is click on it, and you can be on camera or off camera. And even if it's just to say hello and test it out, we'd love to get some different perspectives in here and hear some different voices this evening. Steven says, what was the starting lineup seems like if Murphy didn't start, they didn't have a true big end. So I think, let me give you a little bit of food for thought, Steven. Just because the traditional setup of a basketball starting five is your center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard, doesn't mean people aren't successful doing it differently. In fact, it's becoming more and more often that that's the case. Some of the teams that Auburn's been given trouble with have not had some of the bigger players. So I think it's difficult for fans to break out of that sometimes and think if they don't have a true, and you've had the luxury of Janai Broome for 3 years too, that somehow they can't be successful without that. Murphy is I think a key piece to this team. And I think he will be in the starting lineup. I believe right now it's more just about the, trying to help him limit his minutes and heal up right now. But he had a great game last time. Let's see here. All right. So this is flight tracker season. There was a flight that landed in Auburn from Arizona today. Saw it on my flight tracker. So I will always remind you that people are going to be looking for every reason to believe those things right now. I find that they are very rarely ever true in the sense that they are hardcore, evidence of anything. I think that we see what we want to see in those things, but they do make for some fun times online. Did I see the drama with Freeze's daughter? So I forget which one this was. I don't believe it was the one that worked in the athletic department. I didn't watch her lives, but I also listen, you have a public platform, which I think most of his daughters did. They're allowed to do what they want to do, say what they want to say. That doesn't mean it's necessarily the right or the wrong decision to do it. From some of the comments, the summaries of them, since I didn't watch it fully, I don't have as many problems as other people are acting like you should have with that. I think she's a daughter trying to defend her father's honor. It was a very respectable man from everything that we've come to know about him. Does he have things in his past? Yes, we all do, because I can feel someone typing that right now. So anytime you want to present someone else's past, look, we're going to need to see your resume as well to see if you're squeaky clean. Trust me, you ain't. So I will say this. Listen, would I have probably gone on and done videos about those things? No, but you also have to remember that these people create public platforms, that they're trying to be a little bit of, I don't want to call it celebrity, but that's what they're doing. They're helping build their own brand and stuff like that. when they have that interest in them and their names and stuff like that. And so they're getting asked, and so they feel the need to address it, and that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I think what you see in the moments after a firing is people wanting to double down and feel justified in their vitriol and their hatred towards a head coach, especially Hugh Freeze right now. And that's just sad. I mean, some people that I think are very usually funny and respectable in some ways, um, they're just being very despicable and have lost a lot of respect in my eyes. And some doesn't mean that I don't go to them for things or think that they bring value to the table, but just there's a common human decency, and frankly, you're commanded by the Auburn Creed to be loving mercy, doing justly, mutual helpfulness, and those things don't lend it to itself. And if you get mad at me for being a creed thumper, so be it. There are worse things you can call me. But I think, yeah, there's been some drama around that, and not really one to take necessarily sides on that, at least for now, right? Okay, let's see here. This is no doubt will be Stephen Pearl's hardest year. This is from Unbeaten Lake. First year, and the team is almost entirely new and lacking size. Once again, I know you're just saying lacking size comparatively. That doesn't mean that's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, if you play to those you play that weakness as a strength and build the team around what you do well, less than focus on what you don't have, you're probably going to end up finding just as much success, maybe sometimes even more. And they said that, Bruce said that going in, that this team will play a lot differently, will look a lot different than last year's team, but can be just as successful if they, well, I shouldn't say just as can be successful in the fact that they, can just be themselves and not worry about having to live up to those standards. First years are always difficult years, though. This is about Freeze, I believe. Yeah, so he just confirmed that his health is worse than we know. Do you know that for a fact, Stan? I know his daughter on one of those lives said something to that effect. I would be very cautious about the things that we're hearing and seeing online, even directly from them, especially during these emotional times. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that he is still battling that. And can you imagine the stress that takes on trying to manage that type of situation? So, yeah, there's just been a very poor representation of a lot of people and how they treat someone over football, but also when the man is literally, trying to battle cancers, where no matter they somehow try to make it okay by saying it's the least form aggressive of cancer. Dude, that's real disrespectful. As someone who's had his father die of cancer, as someone who's had multiple members of his family die of cancer, probably will battle that someday. It's real disrespectful to even write it that way in articles and stuff, making it think it's okay. It's just, people are just horrible these days. All right, I'm done talking. I need to be done talking about that and move on from that. It's cancer sucks, and it is absolutely nothing to make light of or anything like that. All right. On that note, BarnerSupply.com. We're proud to sponsor, or we are proud to partner with them as a sponsor of Auburn Family Night during football season. And great company there. We've talked a little bit about some of their gear already. Here's another example. It's the Rising Barn hat. This is the classic Barn A hat. This is the Rising Barn hat. You can see that logo down there. Big fan of the trucker hats. They have more than just trucker hats. Matt knows that's what I love, and that's what he sent me. And so we'd love for you to support them by shopping with them during the holiday season. I'm sure they'll be running some sales. In fact, I was going to bring this up later in the stream, but while I'm talking about it, so this is their classic Barner one, but he just updated the Barner logo with a little bit more detail and stuff like that with the script. So if you like that, go check it out. I think he's doing $20 while supplies last sale on the new script Barner logo they have. And that's a really good deal for these quality hats. So go check them out. Yeah, you get WT. He's pretty entertaining on his X account. He's been having a little bit of fun with all of that. So Matt's a good guy. Love him to death. And we're proud to partner with them here. So if you shop with them, through our link, we're an affiliate. So shopping with them, buying something with them, and just visiting obviously shows them that we're a valuable partner. All right, let's see here. This is from Sam. He says Abdul Bashir reminds me of Denver. Played good D. He certainly is not scored as much as we were maybe expecting him to start off, but that's how you can really endear yourself towards a fan base. A team is doing other things well, even ones maybe you weren't expected to be the thing that you do well. Give everybody some time to figure out their roles. That's the thing that's going to people need to recognize. Just what you saw on Monday isn't the identity of this team for the whole season. I mean, there are going to hopefully not be too many injuries. Those will affect things. There's going to be, does this person need to start? Does this person better? Is this person really good, but best suited coming off the bench? Who's best to put the game in their hands? Right now, that looks like Keyshawn and maybe Tahad as well. But there's so much of this identity for this team that is so unknown at this point. Let's see here. Sam says not being able to say Bruce after the lineup announcement felt so empty. I hear you, especially as a student, right? I know you are. Being there as a fan, that's fun saying that, but Bruce will be back. He's busy right now doing some announcing and things like that. I loved his commentary. If you got to see that on, what was it? Is it CBS Sports, where they, just like we did, if you watched our broadcast, thought everything was done, and no, it wasn't. Man, it was interesting because the egg on my face when we realized that the game was still on. Because here's the funny thing. So I'm watching the game, right here. There's my monitor right here. And as soon as I saw that buzzer go off and the thing go to 0, I hit end, got here set up, because I know y'all want me to be on time for these shows and for the every show, but for the post-game shows. And then there's a program that is used by media that we have access to, that you can see that it's in real time. It was 0 there. And then finally it's like starts just happening. I'm like, and people are saying, why are you going live? It's still on. I'm like, what are you talking? Oh my gosh. So it was wild. It was just wild. Sam also talks about the new lighting system for basketball being cool. I wish we utilized it more. Well, so it's brand new, Sam. That is the Musco system they announced this offseason. If you remember that week of like where they were trying to kill me, where they announced Cam Newton's jersey retirement, they announced what was everything else that they announced that week? Oh, the 9 national championships. There was some other stuff on top of that. They announced the Musco partnership that was going to be in Neville Arena and in obviously Jordan-Hare Stadium. So this is all brand new stuff about all of those different kind of things. So yeah, you'll get to see it more often, and I'm sure they'll figure out even more unique ways to do it, just like they did on that. A couple more comments here, and then we'll get to our first caller. Let's see here. Disappointed in Mazzara. We got him a Final Four ring, and all he's been is disrespectful towards his former team. Here's my best advice to you. If you know someone's already bothering you in that sense, don't pay attention to him. Unfollow him. Don't even pay him no mind, because that does ruin the memories and things like that. I've seen a couple of things he said. It's kind of in his personality to do those types of things. I choose to enjoy the good memories and let it remain at that. People are going to do what they want to do. We had some great times with Chad, and he was quite the frustration for people when we had him as a weapon for us. A couple other things here. I think Sway. I'm glad that I think WT, it's SWA, but we write Sway because that's what his people call him. His teammates call him. That's Sebastian Williams. Adam is going to be a Jalen Williams this year. I love that comparison, WT, just from the sheer fact that you said Jalen Williams, right? As the ultimate Jalen Williams fan. That's a lofty title to put on him, because that's a place of honor. That's a place of respect, and someone who endeared himself to the Auburn family right away, but then paid his dues and ended up having just the greatest into his time here in terms of how he elevated his level of play over the time he was here for that stretch. Okay, we've got our first caller ready, so let's go ahead and get him in. Don't make him wait too much longer because he's already up in the Great White North. Mr. Brian, what's going on?
It's not white yet, but it's coming.
It's to us, it's always the Great White North.
I know.
Because you actually get to see that wonderful stuff. I know it's not wonderful to you, but it is to us.
Well, I mean, I like it at Christmas.
Yeah.
But I mean, after that, you can have it. So
we speaking of Christmas, I know it's not Auburn related. We got some stuff up in our house. I pulled out a couple of Auburn ornaments, and we don't have an Auburn tree, but we have a tree that has all the Auburn ornaments on it. If that makes sense.
it does. I'm so torn. I mean, this has been the great debate on social media, and I'm so torn in it. like, do you put up Christmas? Do you go like, is it Christmas season, or do you have to wait till after Thanksgiving? That's the great question. So,
Here's my take on that. Christmas is such a big effort, especially if you do it big like we do it here. Yeah. You might as well invest, the time into it and go and get it done now so you can enjoy the fullness of it. Because us, we're not done putting things up, but like we got our main tree up today. And so like now we get to enjoy that for a little bit longer while we focus on getting the rest of the house ready. And I haven't even started the yard stuff yet. So don't even that's coming though.
That's part 2. All right.
Part 2. Yes, I am a Clark Griswold.
I admire that, and that's solid logic. I think it depends when Thanksgiving is. This year it's late, so late. And it was actually later last year. So
yes,
I have a 10-year-old that I don't have full time for my marriage, for my divorce, whatever you want to call it. But I have a 10-year-old, so it depends when I have her. So I think I'll have her the weekend before Thanksgiving, so I'll do it then because it's really about her, not about me. But
whenever it makes sense, that's when it makes sense.
Whenever it makes sense, yeah. That's my theory too. But I think it's important to remember to be thankful too.
Absolutely.
One little to your point about our buddy Chad Baker Mazzara. The reason I loved Chad was he was that guy he'd get under people's skin, right? Yep. And he'd get them distracted. So of course he's going to do that to Auburn. That's his bit. That's his thing. I laugh at it. If it annoys you, like you said, then just unfollow. But that's who he is. I mean, he's going to be who he is, and I loved him when he wore orange and blue for it, and I'm not going to stop loving him for being who he is. I guess I'd say that.
Maybe I'm being a bit of a sellout here. It's very rare that Auburn players will follow us, and he does. Well, former Auburn player, but he follows us. So I'm kind of like, hey man, I'm gonna keep that. And not making.
I mean, he's honestly probably in my top 5 former Auburn basketball players. I mean,
listen, what he could do and his skill set with how his build is translates in so many different ways. So as a basketball fan and student of the game, I loved his time here, and certainly the way it has ended or headed is not the best, but hey.
I mean, and I could walk you to the seat I was sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings when he did what he did against Yale, and I was annoyed with him that day. But I mean, I still love him. He was just and I like personalities, right? I like stories, and he was all of that. So
all that and more.
Yeah. So I missed the first half of this stream, but I think I commented on it in the Discord. But if anyone hasn't watched you and Austin talk about everything that went down over the weekend in the Auburn experience Sunday night, they really got to go watch that. I just think that was such a great
thank you
recap of everything, and just the right perspective, I think, to have. And I'm not kissing your butt when I say this, but just as an Auburn fan, because there's so many people, like you said, we're so celebrating what happened to Hugh Freeze. And why are we celebrating that we are sitting in this position for the 3rd year? And again, as you and I have said, we didn't ever have to be here, but we are. And
hey, hold on. Were you here for this part of the show where I said, hold on, let me find this. I got to get better at this because I didn't say it, but you did. So that means, all right, there we go. Sorry. I'm messing with a soundboard every time someone says it didn't have to be this way. Go ahead.
All right. So and it's just the truth, right? It's just, it didn't have to, but we should not be celebrating what happened. We should look forward to the future and see who's out there. And I mean, I'm going to predict once again that the person that gets the job is not going to be someone who everyone's talking about on social media. So have patience and let them work the process. And and all of those things. So yeah, that's all, I guess.
Well, let me since we're on this subject, and
Mm-hmm.
I invite everybody to come back every week and let's keep talking about this, because I don't think this is going anywhere anytime soon. Just to be honest with you, and I think should be a revelation that this is going to get solved and there's going to be a hire soon. No. But I want to ask you two questions right now, because I get asked this all the time, so I want to hear y'all's perspectives too. As of this moment, who do you want and who do you think it will be? And I know it's so early, nobody knows, but just where's your head at in the want? And
I mean,
who do you
think
I have to
be? Do I have to be realistic in my want?
No. Like, I want to know who you want. I want to.
I want Nick Saban.
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! I mean, listen.
How much fun would that be?
I don't know that I call it fun, but I will call it probably successful.
Dude, your channel would blow up. I mean,
could you just see my face the second I start a stream of Nick Saban's hired as Auburn's head football coach?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. I'd be 5 minutes of me just staring at the camera, just not knowing what to say.
Yeah. So that's obviously not going to happen.
Sure.
But of the names that are out there, the name that I would probably, and it's just me, I don't hate the name Dan Mullen. I know they can have that reaction. I'm just saying I don't hate it. He seems to have. Can he do it in the SEC? I mean, he struggled at Florida, but he did it at Mississippi State. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't hate. I like that name better than others.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
Who do I think it'll be? Is Tulane's coach Summerall? Is that his last name?
Summerall, I think I cannot figure if
I always want to say Pat Summerall, and obviously that's
right?
wrong. But yeah,
right?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I keep trying to do too. I think it's Summerall, and then people just kind of go Summerall like that, just quick.
Summerall.
Like it's the Southern way of everything just rolling off into each other. That's what we do.
So I would guess if I had to pick of the names that are out there who I think it'll be, that's who I think it'll be.
Okay, and that's the going rate right now, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what everybody's saying.
And I think DJ Durkin has a better than average shot.
Oh, I think DJ Durkin has the best shot because he controls his own fate. I mean,
correct. Go 3-0.
You go 4-0 with a bowl win. Like,
right. Yeah. I forgot about that part. Yeah.
You walk into the AD's office and officially say, I want the job. Here's my resume. Look what I did with what this season fell into. Like, what do you say to him? No. Like,
I took this roster that we all agreed was talented and found ways to win, including at Vandy and with Bama. Right. I mean, that for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I only hear rumors and I hate giving any kind of credence to rumors, but is whatever happened with Cadillac disqualifying from him ever being our coach?
From what I understand about it, and obviously I won't get into it here because
I don't want you to either.
No. Yeah. Just to clarify, obviously I it's hard to walk that balance of I don't want to be like a gatekeeper type of thing, but I like there are things that I get privy to that you guys don't sometimes, and I would say from what I understand about the situation, the way I've always phrased it, it was best that they parted ways then. I think I've even said before, my hope is someday that there's a way for him to come back, like in some way, like in a coaching capacity, whatever that is.
No?
Like, here's what it really comes down to me. He's not experienced as a head coach. I'm sorry.
No,
interim head coaching, just to kind of get things through that is great to build your resume, but it does not qualify you to be the head coach. And trust me, had they named him the head coach, you'd see the biggest homer in the world right here saying, every time I wanted him all along because I love Cadillac Williams. But what I don't think it's disqualifying because everybody has done things that they, well, how about this? There have been things that time repairs. How about that? Does that make sense?
Right. 1,000. I mean,
yeah,
we just hired Hugh Freeze 3 years ago. So I mean,
time repairs
all things. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so my next question would be, I love that answer. I thought your answer would be like, no, it doesn't permanently disqualify him, which is what you just said. So my next question would be, is it too soon though for Caddy? And you said you're right about the head coaching thing. That's for sure. So
yeah, I think
I just have such a soft spot for him. So
I think.
I know.
Where's he at?
I know.
Where's he at? Where's Cal? Oh, he's over there. Sorry, you can't see him over there.
Yeah.
Look, you're looking at number one fan of the club right here, and loved every single second of that. I think it is too soon, and I don't think he is ready for
qualified.
that. And the day that he becomes ready and qualified, and
we have an opening,
passed, you will see me right there calling for it, because
we have an opening.
Exactly.
And
hopefully we never have an opening again in my lifetime. I'm just, I know that's not realistic.
That'd be quite the coaching tenure. I mean,
that's like
I will. And then you didn't ask this. The one person I really, 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 really don't want is Urban Meyer. I just don't. I don't want anything like that around Auburn. I just don't.
Yeah. That's about as close as Dan Mullen gets to me. He's very close.
No, really.
To Urban Meyer level of like disdain. Like
really.
I just the whole Cam Newton thing with him. Nearly.
No, that's fair. I blame Urban more for that than I blame Dan, but that's okay.
Yes, and see, so they're all connected, right?
No, they are. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah. No, I kind of forgot that he was at Mississippi State then, but yeah, I agree. Anyway, last thing, again, you mentioned in Discord. I hope you and Austin King come up with some sort of get together for us at the Iron Bowl, because that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so he and I have not had a chance to talk yet about that. What I think it would be as organic as, hey, I'm going to set up a tent over here. People come utilize in what way? Because remember, I'm moving around and about, and with it most likely being a 2:30 kickoff, there's going to be like when there's a night game. I've found that now with how I do things, there's a nice kind of like 2-hour window where I don't have to be doing anything or being somewhere. A little bit tighter for 2:30 kickoffs, but it doesn't mean we can't utilize that. But we would certainly like to do that.
Yeah, and we're not locked into 2:30 yet, right?
Oh no, but let's just be honest.
80%.
It's going to be 2:30.
Well, I saw things that said we're either the 2:30 or the 6:30 window, but
because we were nominated for the flex window, which is anything from 2:30 to the night kickoff.
Yeah.
So
when will we know? Will we know this weekend, or
usually 2 weeks before the game is
2
out?
Weeks
now,
all right.
Now, sometimes I forget who gets to make the decision. Maybe the SEC office will hold the decision for a week to kind of gauge things, and like if there's a big matchup the week before, to see how it affects the next week. So
who they want in what window?
Right. But they know when they want the Iron. The Iron Bowl is best in the media and in the money side of media in that slot. And
the 2:30.
That's the reason it stayed there. So that's, I mean.
Well, I'm glad it's not on Fridays anymore.
Oh, man, that was weird, wasn't it?
6 o'clock is still my favorite kickoff, but
it's the best kickoff, and honestly, because you can get the fullness of the day. If you need any example of that, Brian, this past weekend was a great example of that. At the time, it was the worst team in the SEC, and Auburn was like the 5th worst team in the SEC.
Right.
Now,
full house.
But it was full house. But I'm not even talking about in the stadium. Like, it took a little bit for the day to get going, but once that like coolness kind of meshed with that sunlight coming in, that campus was popping, man. I mean, even with some of the Kentucky fans in there. So to me, it just builds through the day on a 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's why I love 6 o'clock. Yeah,
and so they are best.
One more point I meant to make earlier, if you give me 2 more minutes, is that, and I'm sorry, this goes back to the Hugh Freeze thing in your show on Monday or on Sunday night. Because I hear people talk about, sunshine pumpers and mouth breathers and all this nonsense, right?
Mouth breathers.
Oh my gosh. But you can be critical and say, this is not
working.
What, and you reminded me is when you said the stadium was full. Auburn fans deserve better than 6 SEC wins in 3 years. We just do. I'm sorry. We do. For the support we give that team financially, and we show up and all the things. And so it's okay to say, this isn't working. This isn't the standard. This isn't okay. I even go back to the summer when, the comment was like, well, what's your expectations? Well, I know we have to make a bowl game. Well, wait a minute. We have higher expectations than that.
Right.
But you can do it in a way that is creed, to use your phrase. I mean, you can say that's not the standard without celebrating the demise of someone's job, without celebrating or calling, the nastiness of it, I guess. There's a classy way to say this isn't the standard. That's my opinion. So
yeah, I think it's just one of those things that everybody's got to go for the extreme, especially because it gets reactions. If it bleeds, it leads, that type of thing. And I frankly, I'm not going to sit here and just like lament and say that, oh, woe is us here. But I think, frankly, that's why our numbers and our audience stays a little bit lower, because we don't play into that side of things as much as others. And I'm not saying that's like disingenuous or things like that. That's just not what I enjoy doing. I don't enjoy going to places where all it is the entire time is Hugh Freeze sucks. Hugh Freeze sucks. When are we going to fight? Like, to me, that I'm just so done with those conversations. Like, that's going to happen. Which it did. When it's going to happen, let's talk about the other things in that team.
It was pretty clear for 2 or 3 weeks he was kind of a dead man walking. And I mean, so people out there like every day saying fire him, fire him, fire him, fire him. Well, so you can be right one day. I mean, okay,
right, okay,
I mean, all right,
okay. Let's move
and again,
on.
which doesn't mean you. I think what bugs me is when people say when you're not doing that, they go, so you must support this. Well, of course I don't support this.
Right.
I'm an Auburn fan. This is not the flipping standard. Like,
yeah,
it's just. Like, I mean, I had a friend literally ask me Monday night. They're like, I was watching part of that Auburn game. I was shocked it was sold out. And I'm like, I wasn't. And that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. That's Auburn.
People love Auburn. And everybody else loves
football. Right. Yeah. It's just the difference, man. All right. Well, thanks for letting me pontificate.
Yeah. No, you're good, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Have a good night.
You as well. Great call from Brian, as always, from the Great White North. We love hearing from him. He's going to be in town, as you heard, for the Iron Bowl. I think a couple other people. Devin, I think, is coming with some of her family. I haven't seen her in the chat because nobody said what's cooking, or at least what I saw. So if you guys are coming to campus, please let us know. We would like to try to – it won't be like a full-on tailgate or something like that, but it'd just be like a window. Hey, we're going to be here during this time. I can't commit Austin to that because he and I haven't had a chance to really talk about that. But at the very least, I've always said that Tiger Walk is the place where I am going to definitely be to film it for you, to live stream it for you all. So make sure that you, if you're going to be on campus, come. Sam, same thing for you, but you're a student, so you're going to be getting in line. So that's going to be part of the problem for you. If I know you've got to get in line, but either way, anybody is welcome. Certainly that Sky Bar. Yeah, you won't be catching me at a bar, but certainly. Oh my goodness, everybody, do the assignment. Know your assignment. What's going on? Lurking in the background. Good to see you, Devin. But yes, we've got some fine folks that are coming to town, and we want to hang out and see everybody. Devin and I, and I've met Devin and her husband before, and I've met Brian obviously as well in person too. Several of you as also, and I've met you online through call-ins and stuff like that. So definitely anytime we can get together is great. All right. We are already at 52 minutes into this stream. Reminder again, barnersupply.com. They are a great partner for us in Auburn Family Night throughout the football season. We have, I'm going to do my little just drive-by thing here. They got great apparel. I'm wearing 2 of their versions of their caps. Here are some more, and these are not all of it. They've got like a $20 sale going on this cap, but the new version of it with the more detailed script part of it. Go check that out right now. Anytime that you shop with them too, if they leave it, tell them we sent you, but obviously shop through our link as the affiliate, and that lets them know that we're a valuable partner. Koozies of different sizes for different types for all of your beverages of choice out there. They've got stickers everywhere. We've got Velcro clips. You can barn hard, all that right there. If that'll kind of, there we go. Barn hard. All kinds of stuff. This isn't everything, but these are some of the little things that we have had the fortune of having here. And we have the fortune of partnering with Barner Supply each and every Auburn Family Night during football season. Great partners. Barn out, barn hard. Shop at barnersupply.com. Okay. So with our time left, I will leave the phone lines open. If anybody wants to give it a shot tonight, Sam, Steve, Devin, Joe, anybody, seriously, give it a shot. Even if you just want to say hello for a quick second, we'll leave it open. And what other comments, questions, topics? We've hit some of the big things. We hit a little basketball. We hit a little coach stuff and a few other things in between that. But drop that in here to round out the show tonight, and we'll round out our time together. Now, reminders for you for the rest of this fine week that we have, just full of content. We've got another post-game show tomorrow. Auburn versus Merrimack. It's like the first time I've ever heard of them didn't know they existed. That'll be right after the game tomorrow. I promise you, I will make sure the game ends this time so I don't have to redo the stream for you guys. But stats and storylines, just like any post-game show that we've been doing, but for basketball, I love talking about that. So join us so you can be a part of that. Follow, subscribe wherever you are. We will have, I don't know why I didn't have the cue card ready for this, but we will have a post-game show for Vanderbilt. We will have no pre-show because of the conflict with basketball tomorrow night. The Auburn Experience, episode 149, will be this Sunday. Join us for that. Austin and I back in the saddle. And then, of course, another Stats and Stories post-game reaction show for Auburn versus Wofford. The Terriers. They had a good run a couple of years ago. All that's coming up. Live streams. Plenty of content elsewhere and otherwise. Join us. We'd love to have you there. All right, let's go through some of your comments to round out and see what we got going on here. Cam Newton for OC. I don't know that Cam's got the resume to be an OC, but listen, I think I'm open to anything at this point. Let's see here. 2:30 would be great. Hate when the food gets cold because the game is at 7 and they put it at the tailgate at 12. It's a fair point, Stephen, for those of you that are avid tailgaters. Let's see, what else were we talking about in the chat before we got here? Mary Mac shoots a lot of threes. Could be dicey if they get hot. Certainly, traditionally, shooting like last year's team, if you shot the ball well versus three, that was the best way to get Auburn. This year, we haven't really found out Auburn's identity yet. It's just a couple games in. And it looks like, yeah, Sam's been scouting us up here. So that's apparently what we need, right? So we'll we'll see if they live up to Sam's scouting tomorrow night. It's weird. This season, there have been just so many small games to start off the season before we get to that Players Era tournament and then the Arizona one, the Purdue one, the Houston one. Last year, it was small game, Houston, small game, Maui, and then, it just kept going. We lived it up last year as basketball fans, y'all. I hope that y'all recognize how lucky we were last year, not just in like what we got to witness in terms of the team's performance, but also just like the matchups that we had. I had been so excited for that season all year long, and it just went by so fast. And this year looks like it's going to be fun too, just with a whole new team, new coach, new head coach, but it's basically the same coaching staff. All of that to be said. We got people making plans for the game tomorrow night, and the students at least. WT says last year was the best ever in Auburn basketball history. It's got a case for that. It's definitely got a case for that. Unbeaten Lake, watch for this, but Steven has already broken 2 video screen tables. You can see a big piece missing in the Cookman game. So is this from like an anger thing or like just happenstance? Video screen tables. Yeah, I'm not sure what that one's about, but he's got his father's emotion and ferocity, so it wouldn't shock me if he's got the ability to let loose on something like that. I don't know that I ever saw Bruce take out frustrations like on a clipboard or anything like that. More of the time it was his jacket when he was wearing those and whip it around and like throw it off and that kind of stuff. He kicked it after Bethune hit a 3. Well, there you go. At least he cares, right? I would imagine that Steven was very frustrated as that thing went down to the wire and was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to lose to Bethune-Cookman as my first official head coaching thing. Yeah. His father was fiery. He's fiery. He's younger, a little bit more energy, I'm sure, than Bruce has at this point. So we're definitely getting the Pearl flavor with just a little bit more Steven flair to it all. All right, last couple minutes here. What do you got? What haven't we talked about? Is there a topic we haven't brought up yet? Put it into the hopper here real fast, and we'll talk about that and round out the show. Keyshawn Hall averages 28 a game. Do you think his averages go up? No, they'll probably go down because he started so high, and then you'll be playing more difficult teams. It's very nice when someone is billed in the offseason as this big-time scorer, and then all of a sudden, like you get them here and they don't. But we've had a couple of across sports that have just really been exactly what they were billed as. And Keyshawn so far has been that. So it's been very pleasant to see that. And he pairs very nicely with Tahad. I think takes a little bit of the pressure off of him. What's going to replace Five Guys? I think, didn't they announce something for that recently? No, they didn't. That was for Bourbon Street, the old bar. Canes was going downtown. Canes. So for those of you that enjoy that place, there you go. You keep asking, but I don't think you've given your opinion. Who do you want and who do you expect as the next head coach? My honest answer so far, WT, I don't have one yet because, to be honest, no one really excites me right now. Now, what I did say on TikTok the other day, after having a conversation with a friend, this is probably in the vein of like what Brian said. If I'm just going to pick who I want, the only name that was like just thrown around, just even probably having fun to throwing out names that piqued my interest was Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame, which is ironic because today, by the way, we didn't spend hardly any time talking about that. We did a little bit, but not as much as I thought we would. Marcus Freeman would be a very intriguing hire to me. But outside of that, who do I think it'll be right now? I think John Sumrall seems to be the going person that everybody's expecting, maybe even wanting. But I think Kenny Dillingham has gained a little bit of steam. But in terms of want, there's not really a want for me right now. But I was most intrigued by the name Marcus Freeman, if it even was a reality. Unbeaten Lake, I've got to order player jerseys before they sell out. Really hard to choose between Pettiford and Hall right now. You should have gotten Pettiford last year so you could have Hall this time. I would say I just get Pettiford because he's been here longer. I think that's what you do. Want to see Magwood get some more minutes? He could be the next Tahad. Maybe. Yeah, Raisin Canes is coming down, not Raisin, but Raisin Canes is coming to downtown. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for Auburn Family Night. Great interactions and questions tonight. I mean, we always do, but y'all just kind of kept it flowing and going tonight, and that makes it very easy for me. And we got a call from Brian tonight, so always have fun on Auburn Family Night, but you guys made it very enjoyable for me tonight especially, so thank you all for doing that as well, because we can create the clubhouse, but if y'all don't populate it, it's just a clubhouse. Then it's about the people in it. So thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us, and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. As we go, I want to remind you, the Auburn Creed asks you to do these things: to do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with God. We humbly ask you to do the same. Till we talk to you again. War Eagle.